boy Stevie Jobber. It's your boy Dangerous Dude. The Dangerous Jobbers podcast. Play the one. The boy Stevie Jobber. Dangerous Dude. Stay dangerous.
Children of all ages, it's your boy Stevie Jobber.
It's your boy Dangerous Dude.
And welcome back to the Dangerous Jobbers podcast, putting wrestling over one podcast at a time.
Yes, sir.
And for the first time in a long time, we have Saturday night's main event.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like that kind of card. I like the feeling they be trying to capture with these, man.
Mm-hmm.
They really are still trying to put together these big classic fights that are really just really good boxing match cards, like really good Saturday main event. Like they don't really mean nothing half the time, but they like matches you want to see.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of that, we only got 4 right now. I'm sure they'll add a 5th the day we're dropping this on Friday, but we'll talk about the 4 we got now. Starting with Damian and Drew. Steel cage match. Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre. How would you describe this match?
If I was to describe this match, it would be fitting. Fitting, but also Drew's wheelhouse. Because I think this is more designed. I think this match is more to paint a better light for Drew than it is for Damian, in a sense. But I also think because it's designed that way, it's going to go the opposite way. And I think for this match in particular, Damian's going to come out on top and take the victory here. And then that's going to lead to, I guess, the ultimate rubber match between the two, because this is only match number 2 for them.
Think so.
So I think, and Drew got the first one, so I think Damian takes this one, but it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be, a bored at work moment. So Drew's going to get his licks in. Drew's going to inflict a lot of punishment for a good portion, but I think Damian squeaks out and gets the victory in this one.
Man, I ain't gonna hold you. I hope it's really entertaining, but I have no big hopes about the match. It's been rather forgettable. And maybe it's seeing them do a lot of the same stuff they always do. Maybe it's the momentum these two tend to carry with me, which is a very how do I say this? A very, I don't want to say middle of the card, but like a very forgettable, like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's not tickling your fancy.
Yeah, Drew and Damian tend to be the guys that are there for other guys. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of the battle of the forgotten main eventers. Like, so it's I expect a really good match, but I really I'm hoping that after this we get to a good place. That being said, I would hope actually that Drew goes over. Not that I want to see Priest lose. Priest could use the win. I agree with that. But I think Drew has made a name for himself that's above Damian Priest. And it would be good for him to get over. I don't know. Like I said, both of these guys are
they're both in the void.
They're both in the void. They're both in the void. I like that. Moving on. let's go championship match.
Mm-hmm.
Jay Uso, Logan Paul. The less definitive of the world championship matches, I feel like. Tell me how you feel about Jay and Logan. Will it be match of the night? That's my question.
It has the potential to be. It absolutely has the potential to be. I'm going into this with, I'm trying to think of the right way to say this. I'm going into this match with cautious enthusiasm
Mm,
because I'm worried that it's not going to be as enthusiastically, as aesthetically pleasing of a match as it should be, but I'm hoping that it is because of the potential that's here. Um, I don't, I think Jay's winning. I don't see them putting the world title on Logan to have Logan then fight Gunther.
mm.
Now, there is some weird scenario out there where they're saying, oh, this could potentially lead to a triple threat between Jay, Gunther, and Logan. And I don't think that's really enticing either. I think the more enticing thing to do is to put on an exciting match on main event and then have Jay win so he can then go right over to, I guess it's going to be Money in the Bank and challenge or have Gunther challenge him because we all know Gunther's the next one up. So
Right.
I think that's the more aesthetically
Oh no, it
pleasing
won't be. It
option.
won't be Gunther though. I think Gunther chose his, and it's like a random Raw they're doing, in like
Well, what?
Phoenix or something. But
Well, whatever. The
it'll be
next,
whoever was in the line next, probably Seth or something like that.
yeah, well, it's like the next title match or whatever that
Yeah,
after this one is Gunther.
it'll
So
be someone down the pipeline.
I'd say Jay wins this. Logan puts on an exciting match, but Logan then eventually moves on to other things. Maybe IC title,
Mm.
Logan and Dom. I don't know,
Mm.
possibly.
I mean, I don't know. See, this is weird for me. I found this interesting theory when I looked at the match again, and I guess it was hearing the promo Monday.
Mm-hmm.
But I came up with this interesting theory that maybe this is in a way more of a important match for Jay Uso than it is for Logan Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Um, how do I say it? It's because I feel like Logan Paul has put on nothing but good quality matches. So for this match to end up being a dud would, I think, common denominator being Logan Paul always has a good match, they would probably put the blame on Jay as world champion, which might be non-beneficial to him and result in maybe them deciding maybe Logan Paul is a good option. Because let's face it, just like Gunther said, it is a great business move to have Logan Paul, one of the more hated wrestlers, truly
Mm-hmm.
get one over on the People's Champ at a Saturday night main event, where Vince Russo said the card is super predictable. Not that we care about Vince Russo's opinion anymore, but it would kind of shock the system. And it would be probably the easiest guy for Logan Paul to beat for a world title, speaking realistically.
Mm-hmm.
Without winning a Money in the Bank, the easiest guy for Logan Paul to beat for a world title would be a Jey Uso. So this could be the test
Mm-hmm.
because who does the responsibility fall on? You know what I mean?
Yeah, Logan goes into this with nothing really to lose.
That being said, hopefully Jey Uso does deliver a good match. Hopefully it is match of the night. They do got one other match that is probably a solid win also. But I would hope for Jay's sake that he puts on something great that they can be proud of, that he can really continue to cement that like he can handle being world champion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that being said, yeah, I'm going Jey Uso. I'm going Jey Uso. But I would not be totally surprised if Logan Paul would win. Just because of what I just said. It is the easiest person for him to beat for the title. But then we fall to what probably would be the only other match to be best match of the night, unless Ron Killing shows up, but we'll talk about that later. CM Punk and Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. What's the story? Just tell me how it ends. Why are we doing this? Like, we established early that Jay had friends once he won the title. You know, Sammy was one of those. Of course, he had Jimmy. Punk was kind of I guess, a means to a tie-in, right? But what is the payoff? What are we doing?
I'll be honest. I don't know. But currently, I don't mind it because it's the same Seth. It's going to be good. We're getting the same Seth Rollins. We're just getting it with some nice additions. It's like when you get some ice cream, some good vanilla ice cream. Now, hear me out here. Not a bad thing to have vanilla ice cream. Vanilla ice cream is deliciousable. Seth Rollins is vanilla ice cream. It's always going to be good. But then you just add some sprinkles to it, add a little chocolate syrup to it, give it a little, cherry on top, razzle dazzle, whatever you want to add to it. It just makes it even more deliciousable. I think no matter what, this is going to wind up being good at the end of the day, even though I don't know where it's going.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Maybe exactly. I have no idea where it's going, what it's leading to, but I know it's going to be good. You have Braun Breaker with him as his muscle. You have the Wise Man with him, and then you have somebody else potentially lurking in the wings because Seth is saying he has another ace up his sleeve.
He's got to, right? Who's the third? That to me
exactly
is the only purpose of this match. Like, Punk coming back for revenge. Okay, I still feel like they're gonna write him on TV. This might be the match to do it. Saturday night's main event. To write Punk off of TV, because Sammy's gonna stick around, but I doubt Punk is just gonna be here, not contending for a title, fighting for the universe, the good of the WWE universe. Like, I doubt Punk is here to be an Avenger, is my point. So I think this may be the vehicle to write him out, and maybe that is why we are using this match to get our third person rather than him just showing up. They've done enough of the bloodline stuff to know you have to introduce people at crucial moments. So we'll get our third. All right, here's a good one. Let's have some fun with it. Is the third somebody in the locker room, or is the third Sammy? Because I remember us having this long arc, man, where everyone's telling Sammy what to do, and Sammy's trying to do what Sammy wants to do, and blah, 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 right? In the grand scheme of things, Sammy turning down a guaranteed world championship to just fight Seth Rollins for the fight of Seth Rollins makes generally no sense. And Punk, like I said, perfect opportunity to write Punk off TV if Sammy was the third guy. The only problem is then you lose a match on a 5-match card, and I just don't see that happening. So I don't know. I don't know. But I hope whoever this third is, it's good. Because otherwise,
What are we doing?
what are we doing? I think the third really putting together what Seth Rollins' evolution looks like is going to be the determining factor for how we feel about the stories about Seth Rollins going forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
The rest of this year for Seth Rollins kind of might depend on that third guy.
I agree.
Um, so I hope for the best. Who do you have winning? Do you have Seth and Braun winning?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Seth and Braun on this one. I feel like there's gonna be some kind of trickery and ace, some kind of ace being pulled out of a sleeve. I think something's gonna happen, so I'm gonna go Seth and Braun for the win.
I like Seth and Braun. New factions win. Wrestling 101.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just how it goes. Unless Vince is in charge, and then who knows? Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? But generally, the wrestling rule is new faction wins. So
Yes.
I'm gonna go Seth Braun. Um, and then the match of the night, the real match of the night. Now, they can do something really special with this, but I don't think they're going to. But if I was booking it, this is going away.
Mm-hmm.
Duke, this really is a time for you to get in your bag. This is your boy. I wish we had Joey here because this is really like y'all segment to get off. But tell me what you think, man. The undisputed WWE champion John Cena in a non-title match with R-Truth. Who is winning? Why? What's the story? Why so early?
And that is the question right there, is why, why, why? You could have at least booked 1 to 2 more matches with John Cena and R-Truth helping him, trying to turn him good before you pulled the trigger on this. But I'm gonna get myself in the head of a booker here as much as I can. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong. So I'm thinking from booking perspective, John doesn't have much time left. We have to do every fantasy match we can as fast as we can.
Mm.
So, John and Randy, do it as fast as we can. And how do we get to the next one? Have somebody else that people are throwing out there for a fantasy match, get involved and try to help. Who's somebody that can pull that off? Slide in the comedy R-Truth, the guy who worships John Cena as a childhood hero.
Mm.
John Cena acknowledges him, puts him through a table. Then we can set up this match. It's a match that Truth doesn't want to have now, but he needs to have. He doesn't want to beat John Cena, but he will beat John Cena to bring him back to the good side. I think Truth is still going to see this as a comical thing, and he's going to be comical for it because he thinks John's just playing with him. I think Truth does a good job at beating him up in this match for a majority of it, to the point where John's like, I thought this guy was dumb. I thought this guy was stupid. I didn't think he could actually go like this. John cheats to win. So John's going to win via cheating, whether it's low blow or belt to the head, whatever. John's going to cheat, use some dirty tactics. I think by John cheating and using the dirty tactics, that's going to snap R-Truth out of comedy for a little bit and get him to Ron Killings again. That's going to get him to the R-Truth that was smoking a cigarette over John Morrison.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to be bad when he does it,
Mm-hmm.
but he's going to have that dog in him. He's going to find something that he hasn't found in a very long time. And he's going to get that edge back. And then we'll do some segments in the locker room where people are looking at him to be funny. And he's like, I ain't here to be funny now.
Mm.
I'm here to do what I gotta do. And what I gotta do is knock some sense into John Cena. So I think Truth goes into this match good. Like he's the one leading the match as far as moves go. John cheats to win. And then the next Raw or the next show or whatever, Truth snaps and he goes back to Ron Killings. He doesn't do the dance into the ring or whatever. He just goes Ron Killings mode, and every time he sees John, it's on site.
Mm.
And I think that sets up the actual world title match between R-Truth and John Cena. Whether it's Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, whatever.
I think
That the match will happen again as a world title match this time.
I think where you took you pictured it much even better than I could. That's beautifully said. In a perfect world, we have a really good R-Truth match where he can get off how truly talented he is in the ring. Uh which he always has been and never really gotten the chance to show in WWE after like the 2010s.
Mm-hmm.
Um we do that favor for Ron, and then we give him the opportunity to break that character on another level that's still tied into the fanfare of R-Truth and his comedy of worshiping John Cena, but to a light that's more Ron Killings, that's more like, no, this is serious now. I would love a breaking point
Mm-hmm.
that John Cena takes R-Truth to, where he has to snap out of it. He has to get pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
He has to get right down to business and know that the only way to fix this is to really, whoop your ass.
Mm-hmm.
I like a all business R-Truth for this scenario. And then if you want to bring him back to the R-Truth he was somewhere later
Yeah.
down the line, that's fine. But I do feel like if we I feel like a bigger match is for John Cena at SummerSlam. But I feel like if you stretch this from Saturday night's main event to Money in the Bank, this is
Mm-hmm.
a beautiful story we got here for enough weeks to have a lot of substance for R-Truth and for John to really feel like, man, we got some moments between John winning this and John fighting this and John going to SummerSlam and John doing that. The whole thing can still be important. We could have filler right now instead of this, but we could really take
Mm-hmm.
this somewhere if we do it right. You said it better than I did. Um, is there a match you want to see as the fifth before we take it out of here?
Um, if there's a match I would want to see, I'll be honest with you. Can we get a tag title match somewhere? Like, is it feasible to get a tag title match, specifically a SmackDown tag team title match? But I feel like we're just showcasing them on SmackDown and not showcasing them on big shows. Granted, this isn't a pay-per-view or PLE. It's Saturday night's main event, but still, can we get something?
Can we get something? I would love that. I would love a nice spot for there's no tag match on the card. There's also no women's match on the card.
Mm-hmm.
Who are the women's tag champions? Oh, Liv and Raquel. Okay. No two birds, one stone. I would like if you're gonna vow for a tag match, I'll vow for a women's match. I'd like to see something with Zelina Vega. I don't know who, but I'd like to see something with Zelina Vega. I
You
think they
could
had
do
her take on Nia Jax, so she did a really good job. I could see
you,
something with Zelina.
you could even throw Lyra in there, right? Lyra and Becky at main event.
You could, but I'm trying to think of who they can get on SmackDown. Because who's champ? Tiffany's champ. They
Tiffany.
just did Tiffany versus Nia again.
And good God, please. Can we not do that again?
I mean, she looked like she got destroyed in there. But I agree. 2 times, enough. Don't do it again unless Nia's winning, because you're going to greatly devalue Nia Jax. First time, fluke. Second time, she's changed a lot. She proved herself. Good for her. Third time, now you're diminishing Nia Jax's effect.
I wouldn't even mind seeing,
tight.
As bad as it sounds, I wouldn't even mind seeing El Grande Americano.
I wouldn't mind El Grande
just in a match with
El
whoever.
Grande Americano versus Penta.
Yeah.
I like it.
I wouldn't mind that.
I do think that's still SmackDown, but I like it. If I was to go SmackDown tag teams real quick, and then we'll wrap it up. I feel like somebody just won.
Fraxium
versus the Street Profits
for the tag titles.
Fraxium just got here. They're not inclined to win at a championship. Yes, they are one of the best tag teams from NXT. Yes, they just proved that in a very short amount of time. It's very okay for them to go to the back of the line right away.
You could even do You don't even need a tag title match, just a tag match. You could do Fraxium versus DIY, because DIY was who they interfered against.
You could do that too. It doesn't have to be the tag champs, but certainly a tag match would fit great in here. Another tag match from an actual tag team, besides the Seth Rollins storyline. Because at this point, I really see them more as storylines than matches when you're talking about the highbrow, like, you know what I mean? The really like showrunner matches. They're really much more storylines than matches.
Yeah.
But that just about wraps it up, guys. Tell us what you think. Thank you for staying this long, joining this long. If you're here still, maybe if you would click the link at the bottom. You've made it just in time for a cheap plug. There's a like, there's subscribe, there's comments. You've made it just this far. I mean, you know, we're so thankful. But I mean, really, at this point, invest your time. Make it worth it. Click a link. Click and make a follow. Put a comment in there. You know, it's been great. It's been real. I've been Stevie Jobber.
I've been Dangerous Dude.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you would please stay up. Stay blessed. And as always,
stay dangerous.
People have been asking me to be the best in the world. Why, Eddie, why?